Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
And I'm Mike.
And we're midway through the summer.
Yes.
We've had some hot days. We've had some rainy days. We've had some big pop culture news. We've had some big political news. And we thought today would be a good day to have like a midsummer update.
Yes.
How has the summer been going? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Some current events, some sports stuff, some movie stuff, a little bit of everything. Nothing to review today. Our reviews will come back pretty shortly with the Fantastic Four when we see that. But we thought maybe we would dial it down a notch and just talk about what's happening in the world. Do we want to start with something big or something small?
I think we should start with the hottest meme right now on the internet, which is getting Coldplayed. So
yeah, getting Coldplayed is ridiculous. Now, this caught me by surprise, this story, for so many reasons. I understand the gist of what happened here, but maybe you could go through it. And because I don't know who this guy is, other than he's some CEO. I don't know much about him.
I don't.
So,
yeah. So from what I understand is, so basically what happens at Coldplay concerts and off the air, PJ were talking about how like we're both kind of fans of Coldplay. We kind of dropped off. I think we both enjoyed them. They were more rockish, a little bit more rock, and they kind of more went to the pop realm. So number one, I didn't realize they were playing stadiums. I understand things like Madison Square Garden, things like that, but I didn't realize stadiums.
The big stadiums threw me. I had no idea they could fill a stadium.
Yes, so I did not know they were pulling those numbers. So good for them. But what I didn't know was that during the shows, I guess during like maybe the halfway point or so, they actually, Chris Martin, the singer, they basically have their own kiss cam, like they do like in, like hockey games is usually bigger in. And he basically sees a couple or two friends and he writes a song kind of on the spot, making fun of them or teasing them, whatever, just to be, jolly, nothing. So anyway, and they're panning through different people in the crowd, and you see this couple, and then he goes, "Oh, look at this!" And then, as we know from the famous meme, the CEO and what happens to be, you can't make this just like out of a movie or a TV show. The HR,
person,
manager,
that part,
they, the CEO, he literally just disappears. He just does a nosedive, and then the HR woman basically just kind of hides in shame. And Chris Martin says they're either in an affair or they're very shy. And sure enough, you can't write this stuff. It's unbelievable how it turned out. So sure enough, this happened to be true.
Yeah.
And then everyone on the internet is saying if they were to just to play along, go like, woohoo, you know what I mean? Or just wave to the camera or something, they probably would have just panned over them.
Right. And no one would have been any wiser about what was going on.
Exactly. And anyway, the rest is history. And now it's gone so viral that
the most viral. Everybody has a meme of this thing.
Yes, that's the amazing part. Is I saw memes that Walmart, I think, put out. Wendy's, Aldi had one.
Everywhere.
It's crazy.
I saw some X-Men ones where it was like Wolverine and Jean Grey.
Yep. It's unbelievable. But the companies themselves are putting out, like these companies, like it's not just like a fan made. Like we saw one with like Metallica. They put Dave Mustaine with James Hetfield. But I think the part that fascinates me most is I know this. I don't want us to go into conspiracy theories or anything like that. But no, they say like there's already so many companies. They own everything, right?
Yep.
This guy, I didn't even know what this company is, Astronomer. I don't know if they do anything with space or...
I have no idea.
I have no clue what it is. If they make apps, I really have no idea what that company even does. It just seems...
Is this a marketing scheme?
Exactly. Yeah. Or like, even if it isn't a marketing scheme, it's just... To me, it's just peculiar because it's like they're jumping on the bandwagon. Couldn't that hurt someone else's brand? Like you know what I mean? Like making fun of it. I don't know if it's like almost like you said. Maybe now the branding's gonna go up. You know what I mean? Like they gotta get more hits. I don't even know what the product they even sell or what they.
Yeah, I have no idea. Let's look. I'll look it up. Hold on.
So,
what is it? It's called Astronomer.
From what I believe,
Let's find out what they do. It provides data orchestration platform called Astro, built on Apache Airflow. They help organizations manage the flow of data by building, deploying, scheduling, and monitoring data pipelines as code.
Okay.
Streamlines workflows for data engineering and enables teams to build reliable data products. So it doesn't seem like it's anything fun.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So, but yeah, just interesting that you see other companies almost taking, I don't want to say shots at them, but it's just,
That's kind of what it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And it's funny how, like, in the world we live in, certain memes last forever. Some memes, they last and they kind of go away.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Hey,
Yeah,
this
one
I
think is going to stick around.
Yeah, this one, Coldplayed, it's now, just even with people being unfaithful and all that stuff, it's going to be...
Do you think Chris Martin feels like a piece of shit, or do you think this is the great... Do you think it's
I think he loves it. I think
he loves it?
I think the band, like, from what I know, I don't think they put out a new single recently, so I wouldn't be surprised that even themselves have gotten a surge in in views or downloads, whatever it is.
Maybe. So he thinks it's great. He doesn't care that he ruined some other... I don't care about this CEO and this HR lady. Clearly, they're pieces of shit. But the poor wife that had no idea what was going on. Like, we don't think Chris Martin cares that he ruined that lady's life today?
Yes. And from what I understand, my own wife told me that I think that guy actually resigned from the company.
Yeah,
he
did.
resigned.
I read that. He put out like a whole statement.
Yeah.
He's probably going to try and sue Coldplay.
Right. That's the best part, is he released a statement on Twitter, whatever it is, and he goes, I'm sorry, blah, 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 to my family. Then at the last, of the paragraph, he goes, Coldplay didn't film me without my consent. Like, oh, please, man.
It's ridiculous.
That was like a Hail Mary to potentially...
I'm waiting for that guy to get his own... He'll be on reality TV on one of those C-list reality game shows or some shit. He's gonna want to get money from this.
Yes.
This is gonna be the one of being the best thing that ever happened to that guy. Mm-hmm. Because he's gonna show up on I don't know which one, but he's going to. And that's the problem with the world we live in. This guy is a shithead.
Yeah.
And gets caught being a shithead, and he will profit from it. America.
Yeah. Right.
That's America.
They're going to be haunted now, besides the internet, just the music itself. Anytime a Coldplay song is, they're going to be haunted. It's almost like Clockwork Orange when he used to, hear Beethoven, he would get sick. Mm-hmm. It's going to be that. It's going to be that conditional...
Oh, yeah, that guy's
behavior.
Never going to listen to Coldplay again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that was his favorite band, it isn't anymore.
Yeah. But moving right along, we're in a group chat with other friends, and PJ wrote us in a group chat about, let's say 9 o'clock at night or so. He goes, guys, he sends us a screenshot of Stephen Colbert's show has been canceled. It's ending. So at first, initially, and PJ and I and the rest of the guys in our group chat were like, oh man, that sucks, but none of us are really surprised because we know late night television is in a weird place right now. It's kind of made a home now on YouTube, and Reels. Basically, no one really, as we know, television has changed, blah 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 blah. But then, as they say, the plot thickens about 24 hours. So some folks at home, PJ's gonna give us a little idea what happened. So why did Stephen Colbert basically got canceled to a degree?
Yeah, to a degree, it seems like it. So the first thing came out, like you said, and just Colbert's canceled. CBS puts out a statement that they're ending the Late Show. It's for financial reasons. They can't imagine going on without Stephen Colbert. They're going to retire the show and everything completely. They're just not going to do it anymore. And like I said, they blame it on these financial reasons. So everyone's like, well, like you said, we were all like, well, late night kind of sucks. We don't watch it anymore. I don't know anyone who does, so maybe that makes sense. Whatever. We move on real quick because we didn't think much of it. Then you find out this happened right after Stephen Colbert was speaking negatively about Paramount. If you rewind a little bit, there was some interview on 60 Minutes that Trump took offense to. I don't know if it was how it was edited. I don't know if it was said. I'm not 100% sure. But he took offense to what they said, and he winds up suing Paramount. I don't know what the amount was for. I just know he's suing them for millions of dollars, billions of dollars, right?
Right.
So now Paramount is trying to merge or get bought out by another company, Skydance. So
which is another weird thing too. Why are all these major studios being bought out? You have
crazy, big studios.
Right, exactly. You had 21st Century Fox. I feel like there was another studio. I feel like I'm missing something else merged. There's all these mergers are going on.
You had Fox get bought out by Disney. Disney bought the world. You had Amazon has something to do with MGM now.
Yes. Thank you. You're right.
Warner Brothers has been merging with everyone and failing at it. So it's just like
it's
all
just
these
interesting.
studios,
yes.
Yeah. They
And who
can't-
is Skydance? It's like you heard of Amazon, you heard of Apple, blah blah blah.
Right.
Who the heck is Skydance? It's just like, what is it? I'm sure they have some kind of history. I'm sure.
Let's go to the Google. Let's just find out real quick.
Pull it up, Jamie. Let's
Hold
do it.
on, yeah. Hold on, Jamie. We need to know who Skydance is. Who is Skydance?
Skynet.
Skydance Media LLC is an American media production, finance company based in Santa Monica, founded by David Ellison in 2006. The company specializes in films, animation, television, video games, and sports. Skydance has made 9 movies with Tom Cruise.
Oh wow.
So I guess they've here's some films they've produced.
Okay.
Holy shit. Top Gun Maverick,
Wow. Okay.
Mission Impossible,
Okay.
another Mission Impossible, the 2012 Jack Reacher movie with Tom Cruise. Is this some sort of like what's the name of that religion? That
I know you're gonna say Scientology.
Is this Scientology shit? Right
Both
here?
start with
They
an
did
S.
They did World War Z with Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
All right, so they've had some movies that we've heard of.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. They have
All right.
some legitimacy, but
Okay,
I
so
had no
maybe-
clue. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
heard of that studio.
No, me either. I had no
or-
idea.
Okay.
So Skynet wants to take
Yeah.
over CBS, and they need FCC approval, right? Because all these mergers have to get antitrust laws, all that bullshit, monopoly laws, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So all this happens, and then all of a sudden, Paramount / CBS, Paramount's the parent company, settles with Trump, and they give him $16 million to settle this lawsuit. This all happens when Stephen Colbert is on vacation. So on his
Sake.
first show back from his vacation, he addresses what happened. Says how he's ashamed of the company he works for. He'll never be able to trust the company he works for again. He calls this $16 million bribery. He says this is bribe money so that the so that this merger goes through and this takeover goes through. Can't imagine these people have all this shit. He can't imagine that these people are going to be honorable and all this other nonsense, right? He just goes on forever. Now, he has a right to feel that way. We live in a free country. He has a right to say it.
Yep.
So it moves on, and that's the show. That's the monologue, essentially, right?
Mhm.
He goes on. He does the rest of his show, talks with his guests. Whatever light comedy you're allowed to get away with on TV these days, and the show goes on. The next day is when this comes out, where they're getting rid of the show. It's like the very next day.
Weird, man.
And now it becomes this whole, I'm calling it late gate, because it's like, it's this whole conspiracy of, did they get rid of him because of what he said and all this other shit. And then you find out that they're saying it's all about money. Stephen Colbert is the highest rated and most successful of all the late night shows, including Fallon, including Kimmel, including whatever else is out there. He's the one with the most viewers. So if he's getting canceled, then these other ones should be, but they're not.
Right.
So all of the talk show hosts now, to their credit, who should be happy
Yeah,
that the guy that's beating them in the ratings is going away, right? Like Fallon should be dancing on his desk right now.
Yes.
Comes out and makes a statement that's like, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
I expected to have my entire career
Yeah, with
as
him
my
along.
talk show host,
Yeah.
with him being on the other network. It's a shame what's happening, and alludes to there being more to this story than financial reason. Kimmel comes out, makes another statement, and says this isn't anything to do with money.
Yeah.
This is definitely the things because of what he said. Jon Stewart, and Jon Stewart and Colbert go back a long time.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Daily Show being followed right up by the Colbert Report, basically says, well, now I'm afraid for my show, which is also owned by Paramount,
Yeah.
because he's like, all he does is bash Trump,
Yeah.
bash the government, make
Yeah.
light of all the things that are happening, but it's never positive,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And nor should it be, but it's now he's like, is my show next on the chopping block? So now this starts becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now the Writers Guild is investigating it to make sure that this isn't like you fired this guy because of what he wrote and what he said on his monologue, because you can't do that. And now they're involved. Looks like there could be more lawsuits involved. I don't think CBS or Paramount has commented on any of this just yet.
Mhm.
I think they've been staying relatively quiet about it, but I am inclined to believe that this one is not a conspiracy and that this is what actually happened.
Some sort of legitimacy where they're saying, like, even though it is odd, like I said, there is the shady
Yeah.
stuff where it is number one. I didn't realize it was beating all the other shows in terms of ratings. But they did say they were been laying off a lot of people at CBS.
Yep.
And we do know that late night television is dying. It is
Yeah,
dying.
it is,
I mean,
for
it is
sure.
dying. So I think it is a little bit of both. I mean, the whole thing, what happened with Trump and all that, probably is probably sending it closer, to death row. So, PJ, here's my next question, though. Whatever happens with Stephen Colbert, if he gets re-signed, that's probably not gonna happen now. But
Right.
what do you think other studios now? I'm not saying that like they're gonna retaliate against their own, like Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon and blah blah blah. But do you think they're gonna start saying like, look, we might have to end the show too, just for financial reasons? Like, just you think it's kind of like this is the beginning?
You mean
the
like other late
domino?
night shows? Like does Kimmel just all of a sudden find himself out of a job? Here's what I think.
Yeah, not for political reasons. Like the studio's going to say, like, look, in 3 years now we're ending the show, regardless. Like it's just.
I don't think the Tonight Show ends. I think, despite the fact that Colbert is getting bigger ratings, I think the Tonight Show is one of those things that stands the test of time, despite the fact that nobody watches it.
Right.
It won't be Jimmy Fallon forever. At some point, he'll age out the same way Carson did, the same way Leno did. And somebody else will be unfunny on late night TV show at 11:35 on NBC. It's fine. But so I think that stands the test of time. I don't think we ever live in a world where there's no
Tonight Show
version of the Tonight Show.
All right.
Does Kimmel disappear at some point? Probably. I don't.
Yeah, I don't see
know.
someone taking on his like after he retires. Someone take.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
it's
it.
him.
That's his show, and then it's over. It's not like ABC had a late night presence really. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, they might have done the Magic Hour at some point. Like I don't, but that was what, a million years ago. I forget who did Arsenio Hall when he had it. But again, these aren't things that stood the test of time the way the other two shows have. So I do think at some point we see them end. As for where does Colbert go, I think Colbert, if I was him, I would go the route of a John Oliver. Last week tonight on HBO.
Yeah.
And he just has a show once a week that's like a recap. I don't think he winds up on HBO because they already have John Oliver.
They got Bill Maher there too on HBO.
Yeah, so they have that kind of political commentary stuff already. But there are tons of other networks. There's no reason that Apple can't stream a show like this, or Amazon Prime, or throw a rock in which streaming service do you hit to pick them up and do that sort of thing. I think that's where he winds up landing, because especially right after this being so public, he's obviously going to ride out his contract on the Late Show.
Of course.
I think he will be, I don't want to use the word unhinged, but unfiltered going forward. He has nothing to lose, right? Say whatever you want at this point. And I think he just keeps building himself up, almost back in that Colbert Report kind of way, where he can say what he wants, be political, and not worry about the repercussions.
Yeah,
and I
he
think
might even go back into that character. You know what I mean? He might even go back into that.
Yeah.
So, and
that's
really
where I
eat it
think
up.
he winds up.
And
I hope he does land on his feet, because I think he's great. I've never been the biggest Tonight Daily Show fan. I don't dislike Jon Stewart. I didn't dislike Craig Kilborn when he was the host. And all the people that have replaced or been on there, I can't think of. Trevor Noah was fine.
Yeah.
I think they're all fine. I don't dislike him. But there was always something about the format of that show that
I always
don't
felt
know what it was.
I felt the same way. I always felt the show was very long. I don't know why. I always felt long. Like this episode
I
felt.
watch the interviews that they do whenever they bring someone in. You're like, all right, I'll watch the opening. I don't want to call it monologue, but when he does the news,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's my
you watch
favorite part.
You get through it, and you're like, all right, I'm done. I don't need to watch the rest. I just never got into it. I always found I liked the Colbert Report better. I thought he was better at it. I wonder if there's a world in which those two have combined forces again and have one show where they're both the anchors on this kind of comedy version of a news show. I mean, there could be a world where that happens. But he certainly doesn't disappear. It's not the 2026. May 2026 isn't the last we've heard of Stephen Colbert.
No way.
He probably comes back even bigger from it, and it probably makes CBS Paramount look even worse.
Speaking of files not found, now the next thing is the Epstein.
Oh man,
so
what a story!
I don't even know
this
what
is.
to even say. Like sometimes it's just like, are we living in a simulation? I just feel like
the Matrix.
What is going on around here? And PJ and I have always said this on our show. We don't really talk a lot of politics. I know sometimes we do these like somewhat periodic current events kind of stuff, these wrap-ups and things like that. And
you can't help but talk about politics on it.
Yeah, because it's
our president likes to put himself right up in the news, front and center every week.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And look, we're not anti-Republican. We're not anti-Democrat. I think PJ and I, since we were kids,
down the middle, really.
Yeah, really. And it sounds, PJ, according to the internet, that everyone is kind of on the same page. You know,
On this one, yeah.
even very
Even the
diehard.
MAGA.
Yes, yes. Even they are like, okay, this isn't normal.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Because if I understand the timeline correctly, didn't Trump originally say, like, we're gonna unfold those files, we're gonna open them up,
he
then
ran
now
his campaign on releasing that list. And then what's her name? Pam Bondi, who I guess she's Department of I don't even know. I'm just not that into it. But whatever role she has in the government was like, oh yeah, I have the list on my desk. I've been reading through it. And then we're like, everyone's like, release the list. And then she's like, well, you know what it is I can't. It's just there is no list. There's none. There's never been a list. What list? You saw a list?
God.
And now everyone's like, what the actual fuck? Because you said you had it. You said you were looking at it. It was on your desk. Then Trump comes out and he's like, all of you people are being very unfair. It's like, are we? You said you were going to do a thing, and now you're not doing it.
And he's also saying, like, if you're into this, like, you're
don't
a fool.
support me anymore.
Yeah, or like you're stupid for even believing it. It's you know, it was created by like the past administrations. And like that's another thing. I'm like, bro, man, you can't keep blaming things on like Obama or like it's been like 10 years, man.
It's
like
been forever.
You know, at least Obama. You can't. Why do you want to blame? If you want to, blame on. All right, fine. All right, he was just here recently. But I mean, Barack is a long time ago, man. Like it's almost 10 years ago, which is hard to believe that was 10 years ago.
He's just like Abraham Lincoln was a terrible president.
Yeah,
it's like what
he started all this exactly. Yeah. Like I don't know what to even say. It is
the whole thing. The fact that he turned on his support group of MAGA, and he's like, don't support me anymore if you believe in this. This is unfair. This is all this other stuff that he's saying. And then he said it's unfair to Pam Bondi to ask her to release something, and you can ruin lives. Here's the thing. Again, I've never seen this list. I don't know if this list exists. If this list exists, I am willing to bet all the names on that list are. It's just it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. Everyone from every side is on this list. He's on it. Clinton's on it.
Right.
Actors are on it. CEOs are on it. Everyone that you know their name is on this list. That's what I think.
Yeah, I hear me out for a second.
And you can't release that list,
right?
Because what do you do when everyone's on the list?
Right.
You just.
And I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but just because your name on a list doesn't mean you did something like nefarious. Like, let's just say, like, that's like you and I. Like, you and I get super huge, right? And then we get before all this happened, and we go like, oh man, we're going to this island. You know, like, oh man, and maybe we just go there. We have a hot dog. We don't see anything shady. We hang out like at a patio or something like that. We're just sitting like on a like a Target like lawn chair or something, and then we go, and then we just go home. Like we just happen to go there because everyone else is hanging out there, and that was it. Like it could have been just that.
It could
innocent, and also like unbeknown, there's all this crazy, insane, terrible things happening. That's what I'm
Trump's
saying.
been actually saying. He's like, you're ruining lives, and we don't even know why these people aren't on the list. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, but again, you're saying you don't know why they're on the list. So then there is a list. So why we? So you can't say it both ways, and that's the problem. Is there's a lot of talking out of both sides of his mouth, and the government flip-flopping on things. And look, if there is a list, we're never going to see it. We're never going to see it. It's never going to come out. No one's ever going to know. And it's just what we have to deal with it.
Yes. It reminds me a lot of the steroid list with baseball.
Yes.
Like even that's still even though obviously everyone talks about A-Rod, he's probably the poster boy for it, and Bonds and McGuire. But even that list always bothered me because eventually it came out that David Ortiz was using and so did Manny Ramirez.
And a bunch of wrestlers showed up on that list too. There was like that list kept growing. You find out people from all different sports wound up being like named in that thing.
So it's just another thing like when you're kind of hoping for a whistleblower, I don't know what to say. I just find it so strange, and like I agree with you, PJ. We're never gonna know what happens.
We're never gonna see it.
This kind of just tells us that it almost, and in a weird way, it actually makes me feel somewhat in a weird way almost better. Like, there is like it's not like conspiracy stuff, but there is something weird. There's a dark place out there. Sometimes I try to think of what Alan Moore said. The guy who did
did a lot of things. Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Watchmen.
Yep. And someone interviewed him. I gotta try to maybe find it, post it on our channel, but he talks about, someone asked him, like, do you believe in conspiracies and all that stuff? And he just said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, to a certain degree, he goes, at the end of the day, I think everything's just really chaotic. I think there's some comfort in knowing that there is some kind of new world. Everything's puppet master. There's some kind of comfort in that to make, because you want some things in life to make sense. For me, this helps me feel better that, okay, there is some kind of puppetry.
Right.
And I also think life is also very completely chaotic. So
yes,
I think it's probably a little bit of both. So
did you hear the second? It's not really the second piece of this, but the other Trump news to come out recently, that he has some sort of medical condition. But people noticed that he had bruising on his hand, and he was trying to cover it up with makeup on his hand. So everyone was like, "Oh, he's trying to cover an IV, and there must be some sort of medical thing or whatever." And the statement that the White House gave was that he had bruises on his hand from shaking too many hands.
Oh my God! I think he's an older man. The guy's like 78. I think sometimes when the elderly, when they get old, they kind of get like easily bruised, or their skin gets very like, like translucent. I think he just has like old person hands. Like, you get like
they were like,
things.
The White House came out and said his hand was bruised from shaking so many hands as the president of the United States. I don't know. And then I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just thought that was the most ridiculous thing to say. I mean,
you could have just couldn't you just say, like,
banged his hand?
Yeah, just say, he bruised it, or like, he's an old man, his hands, he's gonna have natural, bruising, things like that,
Now it was crushed by shaking the hands of foreign dignitaries. Like, what are we? Every one of them are old. Have you ever seen a political anything when they're not like, wow, that guy's old? Like, they're always like, no one's gripping your hand that hard.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan is not gripping your hand. Like, I don't understand. I thought that was funny though. That they put out an official press release that he got bruised on his hand from all the handshakes. Like, just stop.
Unbelievable. I guess moving into a little bit more lighthearted stuff, folks, is maybe like 2 months ago, PJ and I did basically like summer blockbuster preview, and now we're at the halfway point. So I wrote down, is it blockbuster summer or blockbuster bummer? And some of the big movies, obviously, that came out have been Jurassic Park, Superman just came out, Lilo and Stitch, F1, Fantastic Four is about to come out, and Happy Gilmore too, PJ. I put that on.
That's coming out, what, in a week or so?
Yes. Like, so, PJ, for me, I think it's better than last year. You know what I mean? I think
there's some huge hits this year.
Yeah,
really getting a lot of attention for sure.
Well, Lilo and Stitch I guess it got somewhat mixed reviews. I think more good than bad. In terms of a remake. I think it made $1 billion now.
Yeah, or close to it. Yep. They said that's going to be the first movie to hit $1 billion this year.
Unbelievable. Jurassic Park, I know we gave it a decent rating, but I don't know if it made $1 billion, but it definitely made a lot. So that was
made a lot. It was number one. That movie came out 2 or 3 weeks before Superman. It stayed number one until Superman came out.
Yeah.
It made its money. You know what? I can tell you how much it made if you'd like to know.
Yes.
I can tell you. I love Box Office Mojo. Jurassic World Rebirth has made $259 million domestically, another $300 million internationally, for a $559 million worldwide.
Okay,
pretty big hit.
Yeah,
big hit.
Yeah, I don't know how much it cost to make, but it definitely seems like they made.
Yeah, I don't know
they broke
the budget
even
for it, but certainly broke even, if not profitable for sure.
Yep. So that was a big hit.
It usually tells you budgeting information, but I'm not going to go through all
that.
The other one we said was what? Stitch. Stitch currently is at, because I would say this is a really big big year for movies. Domestic for Lilo and Stitch was 417.1 million. International was 584.8 million. Yeah, over 1 million worldwide for Lilo and Stitch. That's a huge success for Disney. That's a huge success. F1, let's take a look at that. This is a smaller movie.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
F1 is not the biggest thing. Made 146.8 domestically, 287.7 internationally, for a 434.5 million worldwide box. That's not bad for a movie of that size.
Yeah.
It really isn't. Superman is just bringing in right now all the money.
Yeah.
194.3 million domestically, 142.8 internationally. So at 337.1 million. For what do we have? This is the second weekend. I don't have the numbers for yesterday yet. So I would say, I mean, in terms of blockbusters making money, How to Train Your Dragon was another pretty big one, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon is up to 568.7 million worldwide. I think this summer has shown that if you put the right movie in the theater, people are going to go see it.
Yeah.
Because
Of
next
course.
week is Fantastic Four, and I know that the last two Marvel movies tanked.
Yeah.
Captain America: Brave New World, which kind of kicked off the summer in a way.
Yeah.
That was May, right? I think that was maybe that was a little earlier, but whatever. That tanked. No one went to see it. That was streaming in like a day and a half. They gave up on that.
Right.
Thunderbolts underperformed. Marvel thought that was going to do much better, especially after all the new Avengers talk they did right after it. They thought that was going to give that second life,
Right.
and it didn't. So I mean, it started off thinking this year's going to be another disappointment, but it really it bounced back. Fantastic Four hopefully doesn't fall into the everyone's tired of Marvel situation.
I think what Fantastic Four, which is I think they're in a really weird spot. I think it actually hurts them that they're getting released after Superman, because I think if the reviews are great, it's only going to make more money than Superman. It's gonna do well, but for some reason, like right now, I mean, and check out our Superman review, folks. Even though Superman has gotten, I didn't want to say even mixed reviews, yes, but I think besides, I mean, you're always gonna have people who hate a movie or love a movie. That's one thing, but
it's
I think
been overwhelmingly positive for the most part.
Right, or if anything, something like this movie is like for me, I felt it was disappointing. Just because the movie's something's disappointing doesn't mean that's necessarily bad. You know, it might like for some like Squid Game season 3. It's a good season, disappointing. You know what I mean? Like it's well written, blah 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 blah, but it's disappointing. So it doesn't mean, I think, regardless, what I'm trying to say is like, it's giving Superman even extra life, that there is some kind of zip to it. It almost has the Oppenheimer baby Barbie vibe to it. Like people are seeing it just for kind of see what the big deal is. I don't know if Fantastic Four has that kind of, I don't know.
And it also,
I just don't think it's
the thing
gonna.
with Superman,
For some reason, if it gets bad reviews, forget about it. It might have one big opening season. It's gonna have a big opening opening weekend. I definitely.
They will. They always do these types of movies.
But it's either gonna drop dramatically the following week.
And with Fantastic Four also has going against it, in my opinion. I didn't dislike the Michael Chiklis, Jessica Alba one, the first one. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, the Fantastic Four movies prior to this one have not been great.
No
right?
way.
It has a history of being bad movies. Where with Superman, generally, even the ones that people don't love, they tend to still have a little bit of positivity around people liking them. Like everyone always says, we've never cast a bad Superman. Like regardless of the movies themselves, the casting for the character has always been really good. They're always generally people that you want to see perform, and Fantastic Four doesn't have any of that goodwill really going into it.
No.
Where a casual person might go to who doesn't care about these kind of movies at all, still remembers liking the Christopher Reeve movie, might check out a new Superman movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, does it have that? Probably not. So you're banking on your opening weekend being huge because it's a Marvel movie, and then relying on positive word of mouth to bring people back in. So like you said, if it gets bad reviews, I don't see where it goes from there. And if I was Marvel, I would not have put it so close to a James Gunn Superman. Even not having seen them, like if you didn't see the movie, like before it came out, you're more likely to want to see a James Gunn Superman than a Fantastic Four. Who's the director? I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. I hope it's good. I got tickets for opening night. I mean, I'm going to be there. I'm going to hope for the best. I think, like I said in the last episode, we touched on the trailer a little bit. I thought that last trailer looked like, oh, that's pretty cool, the way she herald at your beginning, your end, all that stuff. I mean, that all looks great, but in execution, when you see this movie, it has potential to be a mess.
Yes. And like I said, our Superman review, I feel like Superman was basically, it's very fast-paced, the new Superman.
This doesn't seem like it's going to have that frantic pace.
Slow.
Yeah.
Very slow.
There's got to be a happy
Something
medium
about
somewhere.
it is slow. Because I didn't really show a lot of the action scenes.
Can I give a prediction as to how I think that movie's going to go? Like with the plot? I think they lose, by the way. That's what I think happens. I don't think the Fantastic Four is even close to winning this, and I think Galactus devours that world, and they have to take refuge on our world, and that's going to be how they wind up mixing with our characters. And
like in another universe or some crap.
right. So I've had I've had a couple friends say, "Oh, I think they started off in our world, wound up in the world of the other Fantastic Four. Now they're coming back." I don't know if that's going to happen, maybe, but I do think Galactus wins, devours that Earth. He is the devourer of worlds.
Yeah.
And they flee, and the Fantastic Four takes whoever they can with them to the Earth we've been watching since Iron Man 1, and then basically lives here now. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone wants to, in the first movie where you introduce these characters, see them lose. I think that's going to turn people off. You're giving me a brand new franchise and they lost? I think that's a turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good, solid prediction. For me, I think that one of the things that makes me feel a little bit like uneasy about this whole thing is we know that Superman is it's basically a reboot of the whole universe, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know, is Fantastic Four, is that that's the thing, I don't know, like, what is this movie? Like, is it its own standalone kind of thing, kind of like the Matt Reeves Batman films, blah blah blah?
It's gonna connect because they've already showed us.
He's gonna be in Secret Wars, right?
Yeah.
Or what, Dr. Doomsday?
Supposedly, it takes place on a different Earth in the beginning.
All
so
right.
it doesn't connect. The movie that we're about to watch next week, or whenever you see it, isn't going to connect to anything that's come before at all until, I guess, the very end, where they find a way to the Earth we've been watching. And because don't forget, we know what the 60s look like in our MCU. We've seen it in flashbacks. We've seen it in Ant-Man because there was when Michael Douglas was the original Ant-Man.
Yeah.
You know, all the time travel bullshit they did in all the Endgame movies. So we know it's not a futuristic looking thing. So it can't be the 60s we're seeing in this trailer. It'll be interesting. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Fantastic Four comic fan either. I know the history. I appreciate the history. Respect what Jack Lee and Jack Kirby and Stan Lee have done with it. But I don't know. I don't know if this movie is going to have the juice of a Superman or Avengers or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out and see. And just my last thing about the movies is I just find it very curious. So Pixar, Disney, they put out Elio. I think it's pronounced that.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I think this goes for all movies nowadays. I feel like marketing has changed so much. Like I don't have basic cable anymore. I just have streaming services. That's it. These things, like seeing a Pixar film was such a big deal. And I think the year before it was called Elemental or something like that. Like, these are both back-to-back movies that are just, you know, Pixar movies that I think that have been released in that order that are just been kind of like barely any marketing. I mean, the reviews haven't really been positive for them, especially this recent one, Elio. I don't know.
Elio only made $121 million.
Yikes! They're not.
I feel like Pixar used to be like Toy Story's not making just 121 million.
Yeah.
I get that has history behind it, but usually that kind of Pixar Disney stuff is just big, just based on what it is. Disney Pixar. Are we in a world where maybe this stuff has to just go straight to Disney Plus and not have theatrical releases anymore?
I think it's just like,
because I don't know if you watched Soul.
I saw that. That was all right.
I thought that movie was wonderful. I really did.
For me, the movie, I don't want to say it takes a no dive, but I don't really like when it gets to that point. I was more into the afterlife and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That was so interesting and cool. I think when it turned into the cat, it turned like the whole. I felt like almost like all of a sudden turned into a different movie. You know?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
But
with that, for sure.
That other part was amazing. You know?
Yeah. But that wasn't in theaters. Like, that was just something they were like, well, we're in a pandemic, we can't go to the movie theater. Here you go, watch a movie on us.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe that's maybe that's something they have to explore. I don't know. For me, movies like Elio or Soul or any of those kind of things, I want to watch them all. I don't necessarily want to go to the theaters. I don't have enough interest to spend $40 in a theater to see it. So maybe they need to come up with like a happy medium where you could see it in the theater for whatever the theater prices are if you want, or maybe you could watch it on Disney Plus and you can rent it or buy it, whatever, at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be that's inevitable, and that's going to happen. You know, if it hasn't.
Because I'll always see a Superman, even a Fantastic Four, a big release, a big blockbuster. I'll always see that in the theater because I want to see those movies on a big screen. I don't think you miss out on seeing an animated Elio on a small screen.
Yeah.
So if you're the kind of person that wants to see it in the theaters, great, go ahead. Yeah. But if you're me and you just want to, I'll give you $25 just to watch it in my house.
Yeah.
I would have watched that movie without question.
Yep.
And hey, Hollywood, speaking of that, once a year, how about you make it real easy for us to watch all the nominated movies ahead of time.
Yes.
And just like put it, I don't know, make an Oscars app. I don't know.
Yeah.
Put them in one spot. Don't make me have to chase down 15 different streaming services. What am I renting? What am I buying? I don't have the right level of Hulu to watch this one. During Oscar season, after the movies have been nominated, let me watch these shits. I'll pay for your app, whatever I have to do. Put them in one spot and let me watch them, and I will watch your movies. Why? That's for another episode. But I'm just saying.
I agree. And my last thing with the movies before we go into our last topic is because you mentioned Soul. Soul had the soundtrack I think was half done by Nine Inch Nails. I think they went by their real names, so it was Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. And now Tron Ares is coming out in October, I believe, or November, and they're doing the soundtrack too. But they're going on their band name, Nine Inch Nails. I think they obviously with Daft Punk, they want to do it for advertising purposes. But I just think it's amazing. We live in a world now where we have Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack of a Disney film, so it makes me really, really happy. So,
you know what the best part of that Tron movie is going to be?
The soundtrack.
That soundtrack.
That's about it. Yeah. Yikes. I don't want to. Like I said, I would move on to our next time, but actually, I don't really like. I think Jared Leto is a very good actor. He's another one who might be canceled. He's another one who's in hot water. But I don't really like him in lead roles. I like him in more supporting characters. I know people are going to say, well, Mike, he was a supporting character as a Joker, but I feel like ever since he won that Oscar for that, what's it called? Battlesires Club. He was great in that film, no question. I feel like ever since then, he's been very, like, I don't know, overacting's a thing. Like, I feel like every movie he talks in a much deeper voice as possible. I love the movie Blade Runner 2049. He's the worst part about that movie. He did the Morbius films.
That movie was
he hasn't really had a hit since, really. I mean, like a critically acclaimed movie since that. So it's very interesting.
I never really got the hype behind him. I guess I don't dislike him. I mean,
I think he's really more of
roles.
He's good as a supporting role. I don't really like him in the lead roles. And in this movie, we'll find out. So. We'll see.
He's not my favorite version of the Joker.
Definitely not.
I mean, I appreciate some of that. I do appreciate some of what he did in that movie, but I mean, you certainly wouldn't want that Joker in a Batman movie, right? Like, the only reason it worked, any part of that Joker worked, is because of the movie that it was in. Like, you pick that guy up and drop him in the Batman movie, you'd be like, I don't want to watch any of it. Like, in small doses, you can maybe get away with the depiction of it, but
yikes.
Yeah, just not great. And I don't know. If he disappeared, though, and never made another movie, you'd never miss him.
Yes, exactly.
You'd never miss him.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of things that we would never miss if they just disappeared, that's the All-Star Games, and that's our last topic we want to talk about. And I will be honest to our audience. I did not watch the Major League Baseball All-Star Game or Home Run Derby. I just saw the clips online, blah, 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 blah. And I'll just say this with the Home Run Derby. What are you doing?
Just a bit outside.
Between the camera angles, I don't know. Just make it like you get 10 out. I don't know what you got to do with. I don't even know what they did with the rules. They're making it overcomplicated, and they're dragging it out. I mean, that competition should only be maybe 2 hours tops, but they had this new segment now. Instead of just calling your name like number 2, Derek Jeter, like it's something very plain. They have a guy. It sounds like it's a wrestling event, and it's going like,
I saw
Chaz Chisholm. You know what I mean? Whoever the guy who won was Cal Raleigh. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Like, it's like, it would give me a headache if I was in that stadium. Anyway, that gentleman won. Cal. He's from the Seattle Mariners. And then you had the All-Star Game itself, and apparently, I don't know how well the game was played, but what happens is they got stuck with the tie, and I guess now they don't go into. I didn't even know this was a rule now. They don't go into extra innings. So years ago, maybe 20 years ago, the game did actually end in a tie. And then after that, every year the games counted, meaning that whoever league won, they would get home field advantage for the World Series. They have since now stopped doing that. But anyway, this recent game, the game ended. Well, hear me out. The final out of the regular play was 6-6, and what they did was kind of like they do in hockey, regular season,
like a shootout.
Instead of doing a shootout, basically do a home run derby, and I'm not sure exactly how they do it. And ended with the National League winning 7-6. And look, I'll for an All-Star game, that's fine. I can live with that. Don't do that during the regular season. But
No, don't do it during the regular
season. But for an All-Star game, fine. I can live with that. But PJ, why I'm really upset is, even as a kid, I used to enjoy them, and then maybe in turning into high school, I started really hating all sports, All-Star games. So PJ, I'm here because I know you're recommending that just get rid of All-Star games altogether.
Just get rid of them. They're all terrible.
Okay. So as much as I do agree with that, I also think that they do make money with these sports.
They do.
So I think. I'm just going to use these two sports as examples because I'm not really sure how you would do with the other ones, but hear me out. So just say basketball and baseball. We'll just start with baseball for a second. It's the same premise. Most of the players don't even want to compete in it. They said, like, home run derby is going to mess up my swing. So you have big stars like Aaron Judge or other dudes who are not even participating. So that hurts you. That's number one. And lots of times the guys don't want to waste their bullets, like their arms, like in the All-Star game or just, they just don't want to do it. It's not even the money. I think they get some kind of bonus. It doesn't even turn them on. So what I do think could work, PJ, and I think would turn people on and help the audience really get into it as well, because I think I would enjoy seeing this. Kind of what I think Yankees they do it, but not the same way anymore. They had Old Timers Day, right?
Yes.
And you have retired players. So what I think they should do, let's say they have the home run derby, you make it easy. Same thing, but you have like former players come out. Let's just say, to make life easy, you have A-Rod come out, and he's going against Mike Trout. You know what I mean? Just for fun, and you just really celebrate it, and everything's just lax. All the money goes to charity. Give it to some kids. What I mean? And you just make it fun, where you just make the you don't feel obligated to really let's say mess up my swing. If you're just going in there, you feel like you're just doing batting practice, and I feel like a lot of the players want to just come to hang out and be with. Let me hang out with Derek Jeter. Let me hang out with a Dustin Pedroia or a David Ortiz, or a Ken Griffey or a Cal Ripken. And you just hang out with them and you try to hit some balls over the fence. That's it, and you keep even use a softball. I don't care, whatever. Use a tennis ball. Doesn't matter. This way, everyone's then the crowd.
Got to use a jackrabbit ball.
Yes, exactly. Yes, in our high school, we have a very specific ball that we used for gym. It was called a jackrabbit ball. Exactly, PJ. You do that. So the home run derby, you kind of just you have Hideki Matsui. All these classic guys come out and they go in against current guys. If they want to play or not, that's one thing. But at least if your Aaron Judge doesn't want to perform, hey, at least I could see, Manny Ramirez take a swing just for the sake of it, but just to see him hit one more over the fence is cool. Because in Old Timers Day, because I'm a Yankee fan, I've seen I think the Mets used to do it too. I'm not sure what other teams. Maybe
a bunch of teams do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
They do it in other sports too. Hockey does similar things.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's a great way to kind of pull people in. And then when you have the actual All-Star game, National League versus American League, you have them kind of like they do. I'm just going through I'm most familiar with the Yankee one. You have some guys who have the mic on, they're just kind of hitting easy ground balls. The pitchers, they have, they're just lobbing it in there. And the game's not really taken seriously, but you're celebrating everyone's, history. You know what I mean? I think it'd be cool. Like I said, I'm just using these players because I'm a Yankee fan. I'm more familiar with those teams. But
and by the way, if they do this, it should always be played in Cooperstown.
Right, exactly.
You should always be there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, even that. And then you have, let's just say, you have Derek Jeter, turn two and he's throwing it to Pete Alonso, during. They're different leagues, but you get what I'm saying. Who cares? You get what I'm saying. I think stuff like that would be pretty cool. That you have this mix of old school players with new school, and I really think people would want to watch it. Oh wow, I get to see Ken Griffey try to hit off, pitcher we have nowadays. I don't know. I just think that would revitalize the All-Star game, give it some zip, and I think. Because then everyone wants to see it. Young people, old people want to see it.
Right.
And instead of making it because I do kind of feel for the players. I feel like it could be daunting. In the past, it depends. If some of these guys my team's not gonna even make the playoffs. Why should I give a shit? That's why they got rid of it.
The other thing with these All-Star games is don't do it mid-season. Because, the NHL All-Star Game, right? I used to love watching it. I didn't watch the last couple. I think the skills competition, it's basically the home run derby for hockey, right? Fastest skater, shootout, stuff like that. You can't play that game for real. No one wants to get hurt in the middle of you can't check somebody against the wall as hard as you would. You don't want your goalie spreading himself that thin and like pulling getting a groin injury right before the second half of the season. You can't do it. So it becomes like a game where the score is like, it ends like 13-12. Like the goalies you might as well not have a goalie.
Yeah.
Like you might as well not have defense because they can't hit anybody. They don't want to hurt themselves or anybody else because there's a whole season to go. It makes the whole thing pointless to me.
Yep.
The Pro Bowl for NFL, they do it in that week in between the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Any of the real Pro Bowlers you would think would be on one of these two Super Bowl teams. They're never going to play in it.
Yeah.
You're never going to get, and you may not even get the people that made it deep into the playoffs because they're like, I just finished playing. I'm not jumping right into the. So you're really not getting the all-star players that you want in a Pro Bowl, and that they always do that in Hawaii, and it's like, I guess a perk for the players, right? They're getting a weekend in Hawaii, and you get to see some bombs getting thrown or whatever, but no one's tackling anybody. What's the point of it?
Right.
You get nothing out of it. None of these games have stakes. None of them.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
And I get it's supposed to be fun, but it's not.
Right.
It's boring.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why, because we know if nothing's at stake, I can handle it. So I think the way to, supplement that is like you add nostalgia to it. You know what I mean? You have the classic players, everyone's singing and dancing. I love Old Timers Day. Yankees don't really do it anymore. They don't really have a game anymore. That's a whole other.
Well, the old timers are getting too old.
Yeah, and also Derek Jeter was kind of leading, unfortunately, this kind of thing. He doesn't want to participate in it. So like now they just have like wave your hat outside and that's it.
Right.
But I agree some of them are too old. But regardless, I think they should have some kind of. Look, you got to do it, man. Nostalgia's a big thing right now. For years now, do it. Really bring back the Old Timers Day on a All-Star League game level. I think
maybe what they should do is all of the leagues should get together, right? All of them. NFL, MLB,
right.
NHL, NBA, and they switch the sports for the All-Star game. So how do your top hockey stars, how do they do at baseball?
Right.
Your top baseball stars, how are they at basketball? Your top basketball stars, how are they at football? And maybe it's like maybe it's almost like an Olympics sort of a thing. Like there's gotta, you know what I mean? Where it's like they're all like kind of competing in the. You're not doing an actual game, but maybe it's all the skills competition sort of stuff, right? Who can hit the most home runs out of, and maybe they all try. Like your top players from each of them do some of the skills, and they all get together. And now you're seeing your favorite athletes do things you don't normally get to see them do, and then. If hockey gets the most wins or whatever, they get bragging rights for the year that the hockey athletes are the That's the way like a tournament style, just on the skills, not the actual game. Trying to see, can these basketball players skate? Can these, things like that? I don't know. That's something you could try, and it brings fans that don't usually appreciate the other sports. If you're not normally a hockey fan, you're not normally a basketball fan, maybe you do connect with one of the players there, and you're like, this guy is very entertaining. You know what? I'm going to catch out some of those games, and maybe that builds sports up altogether because you have a reason now to watch another sport.
Yeah. Well, it's. I like the idea. I think they probably would say like same thing with injury. You don't want to. Get.
That's what I'm saying. I would only do like the skills stuff. I wouldn't.
Do like a competitive game.
I wouldn't take the Mets and put them in a full hockey gear and have them getting checked against the wall. But if they could try and do a shootout, I'm sure you have. These are good athletes. These are all top tier athletes. I'm sure they can skate enough to see who can just try and take a shot.
Yes.
Right. Things like that. I don't think there's football players can try and hit a few free throws.
Mm-hmm.
I think something like that would be more entertaining for everyone. And I bet you would even take an audience that is outside of your normal sports fan just for the novelty of seeing what could be like a disaster because people are so terrible at it, or be surprised by how good it is.
Yeah.
I bet you something like that, just a weekend long tournament on ESPN. I bet you that would make so much more money than an All-Star.
Right. I think it definitely be a big deal. For sure.
Yeah.
And the only problem is, PJ, it probably wouldn't be even on regular TV. You would have to have either Apple to watch it.
You have to have a streaming service, right?
That would be the downside, unfortunately. But folks, that's our midsummer recap. Wrap up. So I'm positive this summer will end on an even more positive note because we still have some good movies and other things to look forward to. So very interesting. So
And I'm sure we'll also have more controversies.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
100%.
Yes.
We'll have more controversies, more good movies.
Yes. Yes. So we have to.
Well, as we get to the end of the summer, we start building up the football season.
Yes.
So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So there's good stuff coming. There's good stuff coming.
Yep. All right. Well, so thanks for listening, folks. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.